This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on Monday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are having a great start to your brand new week. You're watching us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, on the BamaCentral Facebook page, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We appreciate everybody who finds us on their favorite platforms. You can leave us a voicemail if you want to jump into the show anytime, 205-462-7340, extension 800. We'd love to take your voicemails. We are still in Omaha. We appreciate Derek Daniel for sponsoring the program. Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance can take care of you, all of your insurance needs, home, life, or auto insurance. You can call Derek today for your free insurance quotes at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. We also appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. Check them out online at roofturtle.com for all of their products and services, whether your commercial roofs or residential roofs, metal roofs or shingle roofs, any kind of roofing needs in the Southeast, you can reach out to Purple Turtle Roofing. That's roofturtle.com for all of your roofing needs. We're hanging out with my friend Theo Fernandez, _ on the Twitter machine, covering all things Alabama athletics, and right now up to his eyeballs in football, soccer. World Cup action is currently underway out there in California. Oh, boy. Look, guys, give Theo a shout-out as it is 5 a.m. out there as we are starting today's program, so make sure that you give him a lot of love. Theo Fernandez, _ on the Twitter machine. We're basically going to keep it short and sweet today because I'm about to head over to Charles Schwab Field to see what happens with Alabama's elimination game against the Texas Longhorns. We're going to be talking about Saturday's 9-0 loss against Oklahoma. We're going to set up today's game against the Texas Longhorns, and we'll address a little recruiting news as Alabama lost its second highest rated recruit in the class of 2027 in Kenneth Simon. Kenneth Simon from Brentwood Academy in Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, flipped his commitment from Alabama to Tennessee. So he is jumping sides on the third Saturday in October rivalry, and we will talk about that as well. So a bunch of baseball, a little bit of football recruiting on the docket today. Let's get right into it with Theo Fernandez. Good morning, sir. The facial hair is facial hairing. You're looking great, sir. Are you alive? How many goals have you edited this weekend?
I'm alive. They're all blending together. I know we had 19 goals across 4 games yesterday. Most of that Curacao unable to stop Germany in any capacity. But, man, it's the World Cup. It's special. The sun's not up yet, but we are rolling right here on BamaCentral. So I have very little I can complain about when we're working an event as special as this.
Well, I've been enjoying the World Cup this whole weekend in between baseball obligations. We'll keep the conversation going. You've got 4 games today: Spain and Cape Verde, Belgium and Egypt, Saudi Arabia and Uruguay, Iran and New Zealand today. Theo, my winners: I'm going Spain, I'm going Belgium, I'm going tie between Saudi Arabia and Uruguay, and I'm going to take New Zealand. What say the expert on the 4 games today?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is probably the weakest slate of days in the whole tournament. Not, if there's a day to miss, it's probably today. Cape Verde, maybe they stun the world. I don't think they will. Spain probably rolls to an easy win there. Yeah, give me Belgium. Hey, Saudi Arabia tying Uruguay, that would be a surprise. There's a little upset pick from Joe Gaither. I think Uruguay rolls there. And then New Zealand has a game they should be able to handle against an Iran team that probably has a few distractions, some adversity to battle there. Speaking of adversity, if y'all want to have a little laugh, you should take a look at what the England soccer team has had to deal with since getting to America. I'd say I feel bad for them, but it is very fun to watch the Brits struggle with some stuff. I got New Zealand to wrap up my picks. We'll see how those games go.
Well, let's get right into the other action because most of our listeners and viewers are into the Alabama sports and maybe not so much into the World Cup. And if you are, great, leave us a voicemail. But this program is about the Alabama Crimson Tide athletics. And man, Theo, goodness gracious, Saturday was a really, really difficult game. Alabama, I mean, it was beautiful out there, beautiful weather, beautiful field. You had a really nice crowd, 24,000 in attendance for Saturday, a little over 20. I think they said 24.5. And Alabama had a healthy contingent. A little difficult to delineate between Oklahoma and Alabama fans with the crimson colors basically being the exact same. But Alabama had a healthy crowd, and they tried to get the Alabama Bats going against the Sooners. But holy smokes. You missed Cord Rager in the regular season. He had a lat issue the week of the Alabama game and ultimately missed 3 weeks. So he was kind of getting his freshman year going, but then missed those 3 weeks. And so Alabama avoided him. And man, he blew Alabama away. First pitch strikes, just shutting things down, getting the first out. I think Alabama got the leadoff man on base twice the entire game. Maybe it was just once, but really just operating from behind the entire time offensively against Cord Rager, and then they turned to they turned to Xander Mercurius in the later innings, the last 2 innings, and he just picked right up where Rager left off, and Alabama got blanked. Alabama got one runner to third base the entire day. I mean, it was a less than 3-hour game, and you always kind of use that 3-hour mark as standard. He was blowing them away because Alabama couldn't get anything offensively. In the 5th inning, you did get runners on first and second with no outs. Brennan Holt immediately took 2 strikes. They took the bunt sign off, and he grounded right into a double play, and basically all the momentum was zapped at that point. It was a 3-0 game at that point. But then Dean LeChance smacked a 2-run home run, I think, in the very next inning to make it 5-0. Man, just a really difficult result to swallow for the Alabama fans. I'm having a hard time this weekend, Theo, balancing the, fell on your face on Saturday, but just happy to be here, excited about staying on the stage. So, Theo, I know you were super, super busy all weekend long. It's okay if you didn't catch a lot of the game, but did you catch any of the game? And what do you make about Alabama's bats going ice? I mean, the approach at the plate was just ugh.
Yeah, I did catch the game. And look, that Brennan Holt double play, that was a massive, that was as big a moment as you're making it out to be, because he, especially through that front half of the season, was just near flawless in those situations. Like, that is the point where he would have laid down the perfect bunt. If you add a couple runs in that inning, right, if you look at how the game could have unfolded in a 3-2 game versus a 3-0 game where you have no confidence and Oklahoma's able to just coast from there, it's impossible to say how things could have potentially ended. Honestly, to kind of blend the preview and the recap together, like I felt more so like I was watching the Alabama-Texas series than anything. Like, that is what it felt like, where the Bats just, frankly, were completely hopeless for the vast majority of that game. And look, you get to Omaha, you're at the highest level, you're going to have days where you run into absolute buzzsaws. I mean, just look at the Texas Bats, right? Who got struck out. I mean, it was, I think, the Georgia starter, 15 strikeouts over a complete game. Like, yes, obviously there are incredible pitchers at this level, but you get to Omaha and you did fall flat on your face. That's really the nicest way to put it.
What was most disappointing to me was the top 4 batters for Alabama. Bryce Fowler, you had Bryce Fowler, Justin LeBron, Brady Neal, and Jason Torres. 1 through 4 combined 2 for 16 against them. 2 hits and 16 at bats with 6 of the 8 strikeouts for Cord Rager. And so it's just like you didn't give yourself a chance to win with the approach at the plate from from your top 4 batters. I mean, Eric Hines had a 10-pitch at bat. I think that 10-pitch at bat was probably the single best at bat for Alabama, and I think it still resulted as an out. Just really disappointing to see, and so I have a hard time, Theo, with the line that was really used after the game. After the game, I mean, all the Alabama players and Rob Vaughn gave Cord Rager big props. They respect and props. And so I think that he earned his props, but I struggle with baseball, Theo, in finding the line between, wow, that guy just had a career day, and oh, we just didn't prepare, or we didn't look prepared, or we didn't have the right approach, or we couldn't make adjustments in the middle of the game. Like, where is the line between, oh, that guy was just really on fire and there was nothing we could do about it, versus that guy's really on fire, but maybe we could have tried plan B or C or D or E or F or G, like all the way down. Like, where is the line between that guy was just on fire versus we weren't necessarily ready to come out and attack him?
Look, we all know what a random sport baseball is, right?
Yes.
And if you followed my coverage early in the season, you're probably sick of hearing about this because of the sheer amount of times that Rob Vaughn would circle back to that point or make, allusions to that point. There's always like a bit of a give and take with sometimes you kind of just have to tip your cap to somebody who had that unreal performance, which, Cord Rager was phenomenal. This is a guy who, I was reading up on his recruiting, he was the number 10 first baseman in the country a year ago. And having this kind of pitching performance as a freshman, absurd, yes. It's a bit of there's nothing but disappointment that you should feel as an Alabama fan in this moment, right? Like, you got to this point with, let's look at it. Bryce Fowler, top 3 in the SEC in batting average. Justin LeBron, going to be a first-round MLB draft pick a month from now. Brady Neal has been the best hitter all year for this team, had this resurgence. Jason Torres hit a grand slam a week ago to help get you here. You had all these reasons to believe that these guys would have shown up and delivered just really, really strong performances. And, it's just disappointment from the just not able to step up in your biggest game of the season. But you ran into a buzzsaw. So I know this kind of sounds like a PR nothing answer, but kind of the correct answer in this situation.
I don't want to take anything away from Cord Rager. Like, that guy was just on fire, and the guys after the game basically said, well, he lived on the edge all day long. He was getting the outside corner, the inside corner. He barely ever missed middle, and Justin LeBron said when he did miss middle, we didn't punish him. We didn't make him pay. I don't really think that Alabama worked the count very effectively against him, but I think when you're facing a guy that was throwing so many first pitch strikes and really having that level of command makes it really, really difficult to work the count and to try to get to him, get the pitch count up, foul some pitches off. I just think that you did run into a guy who had his best college performance, period, objectively, period.
Yeah.
He went to Kansas last week and had a really strong outing. I think he went 6 scoreless innings against Kansas. He went 7 scoreless innings against Alabama. But so Rager was just electric, elite, just as good as you could be. Probably the best pitching performance before the Georgia performance of the week. But focusing on Alabama and then projecting it towards today, the Texas pitcher is going to be good. Ruiz? Ruger
Riojas,
Riojas,
who struck out Alabama career high 11 times over 5 innings back in April.
And so you know what he's capable of. You know what? That you're going to see another elite arm today with life on the line. And so it's not going to be good enough. Look, do these guys want to look in the mirror next month and say, man, we just got beat by two elite arms, pitching performances, and nothing we could do. Nothing we could do. Like, there's got to be some sort of what can we do to affect the game. Is it laying off your first pitches? I don't know baseball well enough but like from my amateur kind of perspective, it's like it feels hollow to just say, well, they just had the best day ever and nothing we could do.
Well, you've gone all season and competed against some of the best pitchers in the conference. You've went toe-to-toe with, I mean, let's look at the series that Alabama's gotten off to 1-0 starts in, right? Obviously Auburn series, Aiden King, right? You beat Aiden King, who's been probably the second best pitcher in the conference for most of the year behind Volantis, right? You have delivered so many. Cade Townsend, he's been incredible. You beat him. I mean, there have been the Liam Peterson. You have shown an ability to compete with the best pitchers in the country. So, yes, there will be certainly a lot of disappointment if you aren't able to put up a fight against Riojas, which, look, Joe, I thought Dylan Volantis was incredible in the Friday night against Alabama in that first game. Riojas was better. In that Saturday game against Texas, Alabama got I remember it was an incredible start. I'm watching this, and Bryce Fowler comes right out and opens the game with an 11-pitch walk. And I'm watching this after the completely non-competitive offensive performance the day before. I'm thinking, okay, this team is dialed. They're back. I mean, 11-pitch walk right off the bat. LeBron then moves him to third with a single and then gets thrown out at second trying to stretch the single into the double. And when I say everything fell apart from there, it was like things just completely I don't think Alabama got back in a scoring position for about 6 innings after that one, because Fowler was Brady Neal would double. Scoring Fowler would have scored LeBron as well. And that one run was all you got against Riojas, all you got against the team. And then Zane Adams threw a phenomenal game. He looked really, really dialed. I think it was absolutely the best start of his career up until that point, and it didn't matter. Texas got 3 runs off Heiberger in the seventh, and that was it. That was all she wrote. And Riojas was incredible. The whole bullpen was incredible for 3 games against Alabama. So these Texas arms are going to be as confident as they've ever been entering an elimination game. Like it is. They should be a little concerned entering this one.
So Alabama and Texas start today at 1 o'clock. We're going to be heading over there, and I'm going to get live updates going at about 11 today. So you'll be able to follow all the coverage at BamaCentral.com and at Joe Gaither 6. Man, it was, Theo, it was very, very cool. Before the game, we were down there on the field in the dirt watching the guys go through infield, outfield, and getting into the dugout, and it was just a very special atmosphere to be allowed down on the field as they were all kind of warming up and kind of taking the pageantry. I just wonder if, looking at the very first inning, you've got your ace on the mound, and Tyler Fay gives up 2 runs. He struggles to get out of the inning. He nearly got out of the inning about 2 or 3 times and got touched up, giving up a couple of runs. And so Alabama, you're down right off the bat. Oklahoma, quite frankly, looked like a team that was still playing for its life as an underdog. I mean, looked like a team that had gone to Atlanta and taken down Georgia Tech, and gone to Lawrence and taken down Kansas, beaten 2 national seeds in 2 straight weekends. And Alabama kind of looked like a team that cakewalked through the Tuscaloosa Regional and Super Regional. And Tyler Fay didn't have a bad day. But still, gave up 5 runs in the 6 innings, and really right from the jump, give up the 2 runs, 2 or 3 runs, and so 3 runs. And so I don't know. Going back to Friday, I asked you if you thought, Alabama had been maybe gotten a little false confidence from the regional, super regional in Texas, if their path had them more battle tested for the College World Series. I mean, looking at the result, always a little bit a hokey way to kind of look at things, but hindsight is 2020. It was Alabama's path to the College World Series too easy for the Crimson Tide?
That take will certainly see more people echoing it if this game against the Longhorns does not go Alabama's way, if it's another non-competitive offensive day. The other lazy take that, right or wrong, will be echoed is that, Alabama got to Omaha and then phoned it in. Like everyone was content with just ending the drought. I don't think there's truth to that take, which you will. I guarantee you're going to see it if it is a poor day at the box office and you're eliminated by the Longhorns. The truth can be, a lot simpler, that you ran into, first of all, an Oklahoma team that a lot of people, myself included, had going to Omaha preseason, that completely put it together and played the best baseball, played to their full potential late down the stretch, just like Alabama did, mind you. Has talent all across the roster, and just had a great day in the opening game. And then a Texas, let's be honest, having your season ended in Omaha by this Texas team, there's very little to be all that upset about when we consider the fact that this has been a top 5 team for the entire season. I mean, the Longhorns have been spectacular. There's really no shame in this being, if the season does end, if this being how the season ends. You got about as far as you could have. I understand there will be disappointment because you've shown an ability to compete. Even if we were to go back to the Sunday game against the Longhorns, you had an awful offensive day, and you found a way to win this ball game, just like you did in the series finale against Oklahoma. You've had some really, in hindsight, retrospect, really, really impressive wins where nothing's going your way and you still find a way to be on top in the box score when the 9th inning ends. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no, it's all good. I mean, I think you are. I mean, even if you lose to Texas, I think it has been a successful season, and an extremely strong result in the postseason. I just think that I just wonder, go back to the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. You took down St. John's twice, and kind of some of the conversations that I was having was, well, would Florida State have had Alabama more, I guess, on edge or dialed in coming into the College World Series, or what did it not really matter? I mean, Oklahoma, everything we've been talking about kind of makes I don't know, kind of makes Alabama look like they weren't prepared instead of giving Oklahoma a lot of credit. And that's not really what I want to do, because I don't think they just phoned it in. I think Oklahoma's offense was just really, really ready for the moment. Tyler Fay said that his slider wasn't quite sliding as much, and he didn't quite have it the way that he thought he would have. And so, it all plays its part. I think that Alabama, look, these guys want to win the games. These guys didn't want to come or don't want to come to Omaha and go 0-2. I think the the easy fan take is, well, they don't care. They're just happy to be there. And I think that is a pretty short-sighted take, because, look, this is their lives. This is Bryce Fowler, Justin LeBron, Brady Neal's lives. They want to win these games and continue to play baseball for Alabama as long as they can. I think that, of course, there's an element of, wow, so happy to get to Omaha. But once the first pitch happens, the national anthem happens, it's dialed in, and let's try to win some games. So I do want to give a lot of credit to Oklahoma and make that the primary takeaway from Saturday's experience. But I also wonder if Oklahoma, because they had to go on the road the last 2 weeks and take down national seeds, kind of gave them we've been raising our level of play week after week after week to get to this point, and really that's what helped them kind of jump on Alabama early and have that really, really efficient performance.
Yeah, I like that take. This is more so about Oklahoma and the naturally incredible confidence boost, the incredible momentum boost that you get from walking into a packed house in Atlanta, one of the best atmospheres in Georgia Tech baseball history, and beating one of the best teams in Georgia Tech baseball history. Look, if Georgia Tech was in Omaha, they would be the most picked team to win the thing. This squad was elite all year, so it's less so about, Alabama was brought down by the competition versus Oklahoma was elevated by the competition and the team that it beat. That's where I'd say I'm at with this.
I think that's about right. And so let's move all the way fully into Monday. You are going to, unless something weird, very, very, very strange has happened, you're going to see Zane Adams on the mound for Alabama against Rojas. And I just wonder what you think about the hitting today, because Brady Neal said, "I've gone over 4 a bunch of times. It's no big deal." Like Alabama, the theme after the loss was we've been hitting them out before. We bounce back all year long. You can go to every daggum example you want. Lost the season opener, swept by Kentucky. Lost the season opener, bounced right on back. Swept by Kentucky, bounced right on back, and swept Florida. And so there's been adversity throughout the season. But Alabama has responded throughout the season pretty effectively. You lost a couple of bad midweek games, and it didn't even matter because you won the SEC games that same weekend, right after dropping a bad midweek game. So you've had some low moments this season, but almost every single low moment this season has been followed by a holy smokes, what a response high moment for Alabama. And so before I go over to the stadium today, I'll ask you, Theo, am I foolish? Am I just hopeful? Is it crimson-colored glasses to expect Alabama to bounce right on back? And whether you win or lose, put on a really, really competitive performance against Texas that makes you feel like, well, Alabama gave all they had whether Cord Rager was unhittable or Alabama had a bad approach to the play, it doesn't matter. The response today, am I foolish to expect, okay, Ruger Rojas is a really strong pitcher, but Alabama is going to rise to the level of his talent. They're going to respond to the poor performance with a really good performance and put on a really competitive game. And I think, give Alabama a strong chance to win.
There have been very few games this year where Zane Adams hasn't done just that for Alabama. The Ole Miss game being one of the few. The story of the season all year has been Zane Adams takes the mound. He's going to put the Crimson Tide in line for the bats to do something to win you the game. That is exactly what happened in his appearance against the Longhorns, right? Adams went 6 innings. Alabama held the 1-0 lead, and he was just he was spectacular. I still think that might have been his best performance of his career. One of the games that if I'm an MLB organization, I'm watching and, putting some confidence into my pick of Zane Adams as a prospect for my organization because he responded to everything against one of the deepest lineups in the country. And, Heiberger wasn't able to hang on to the lead, but I fully expect Adams to go 5 or 6 innings and keep Alabama in this ballgame. And Adams is one, Adams plays to the conditions of the game, right? He's one of those guys where If Alabama's bats are dead, he'll probably keep Alabama within 1 or 2 runs. If Alabama puts up a couple, puts up 5, he might give up 4, but he will put you in position for this game to be handed over to the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll get a competitive finish here. I think this one will go either way down to the wire, Joe.
All right, and then lastly on the offensive side, I mean, to me, it feels like an obvious yes answer. But when I look at 2 for 16, the question is, how will the top 4 batters bounce back? Your Bryce, I mean, you can't be Brady Neal and end your time at Alabama on an 0 for 4. Like, to me, it's so obvious. The easy answer is yes, they're going to bounce back. But you've watched this team all year. How do you expect Alabama's offense, particularly the top 4 batters of Bryce Fowler, Justin LeBron, Brady Neal, and Jason Torres, to bounce back today?
Well, who wants to be a hero, Joe? That's what it comes down to. You got 4 guys there, and I'll throw John Lemon there as well. Another guy who's had a great season, and 5 guys right there in your top 6 bats that are entering what may be the final college game of their career. Or certainly, like, you're not coming back to college, right? If you lose, it's your last game of your college career. Who wants to keep playing baseball? Who wants to step up and deliver the massive hit? And you've got those 5 guys all have come up with big hits for this Crimson Tide team. Whether it's a John Lem walk-off homer, whether it's a Jason Torres grand slam, whether it's how many times has someone in the bottom of the lineup managed to get on base and Bryce Fowler's able to bring him home? Or how many times has Fowler gotten on for LeBron and Neal? These guys have delivered consistently. Even amidst other struggles, they have delivered for this team. I think this game will come down to one of those 5 players. And I know, I'm picking out most of the lineup. But I think it will come down to one of those 5 players wanting to just come up with a hit that allows them to keep playing with this team another day.
All right, so before we move to the pick and then get to Kenneth Simon flipping to Tennessee, I have one kind of question about a little controversy, small controversy after the Oklahoma game. And really, I haven't seen much of this get spread around. It's just our man Davis Cornell from the CW, his tweet did kind of go a little mini viral. And so we got to be with the program and with players after the Oklahoma game, and just LeBron's comments made him not kind of gave off the appearance that he wasn't prepared, because, and the only reason I say that is he had a throwaway line about Court Rager. He was, man, their pitcher. It was basically, man, their pitcher. I don't even know his name, but their pitcher was really, really good today. His command was really amazing. He didn't miss middle very much, and when he did miss, we didn't make him pay. And so you've got a lot of the online Twitter trolls and everybody saying, you didn't even know his name. And I totally see that and think it's valid to, hey, you didn't even know his name going into the biggest college World Series game. I mean, first college World Series game in nearly 30 years. And you didn't know the opposing pitcher's name. And maybe this is crimson colored glasses, Theo, giving Justin LeBron the benefit of the doubt, because you're right after a shell shock game. You went 1 for 4. You're 0 for 3. You basically got a consolation single in your last at bat. I do think that the team was prepared and had a scouting report and studied the scouting report, but for whoever it was, for Court Rager, I would imagine it was pitcher number, I don't even know what number he's wearing, uniform number he's wearing. Pitcher number 9, pitcher number 6, pitcher number 10, whatever uniform number Court Rager's wearing. And so I think that happens a lot in scouting reports, whether it be baseball, basketball, football. You get some guys that's like, well, number 5 is my matchup, and, I don't really need to know if it's John Brown, but number 5 is what he does, and I know what number 5 does, and number 5 likes this tendency. I think it was a throwaway line that Justin LeBron just kind of let slip, but people are people like to grasp at straws when you have a 9-0 loss. What happened? What happened? And immediately the star player, I don't even know his name, but he was amazing today, and we had such a hard time catching up to him. Just where do you fall? Because I'm going to give Justin LeBron the benefit of the doubt and give Coach Vaughn the benefit of the doubt that, hey, the scouting report was delivered and was studied, but it was very likely just listed numbers and tendencies for Court Rager. Where do you stand after seeing that Justin LeBron comment?
Yeah, I'm leaning on the side of throwaway line because I can guarantee you that Alabama just goes off of number, which is simpler. I know Cord Rager wears number 99, which is pretty distinct, right? So, they probably just called him 99 or 99 or whatever the whole week leading up to it. It's an unfortunate thing to have go viral because it distracts on every side from just the fact that, Cord Rager did have a phenomenal day on the mound, a point we've reiterated a bunch, but I don't make much of the Justin LeBron quote.
Yeah, so we're going to move on. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because there's just no way that that they skipped on the scouting report and then at the biggest stage. That's just an absurd suggestion. And so I like your take and agree. It was probably 99 is going to throw real hard all week long. 99 is going to paint the corners all week. So we'll see what happens with Alabama today. Let's get right into it with the pick. You've got 2 games today. Alabama's taking on Texas at 1. Oklahoma's taking on Georgia at roughly 6 or 7, depends on how Alabama goes. Theo, I'm just going to go straight to the second game, and golly, there's a lot of Georgia fans here, and those fellas are playing really, really confident. I think as far as a winner's bracket game, you got 2 of the hottest teams in baseball that come from the best league in baseball. That evening game is going to be insanely competitive and a lot of fun. I will, just for my mother, take Georgia as well, or take Georgia to win and move on to the winner's bracket series. But the way Oklahoma is playing, I would not count them out. I'm taking Georgia, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I'll go. The Dogs have been a buzzsaw all year, and winning that game the way they did against Texas was incredible. You see all the players changing their profile pictures. You see this team is confident. The vibes are immaculate over there. I think Georgia's going all the way, so I'll take the Dogs.
There we go. And so Alabama, Texas, it may be just crimson-colored glasses and spin zone, but the team has bounced back all season long after getting punched in the mouth. I think Zane Adams goes deep, goes 6 or 7 innings, probably 6 innings, and I think that Alabama's going to scrape out a victory against Texas and send the Longhorns packing. Could you believe Ole Miss and potentially Texas go 0-2 in the College World Series?
That would be a storyline for sure. Wouldn't have been our picks coming in. Look, Alabama's been resilient. It's been a special season to get to cover. It's also been a special season for the Longhorns. And you got to imagine all the stuff they're saying and all the frustration they're feeling after, just such a brutal game 2 days ago. I do have to pick this as the end of the road for the Crimson Tide. I think Adams goes out and competes and gives this team a chance, but ultimately the bullpen was one of the many, many things that we highlighted entering the season as, can this bullpen compete at a nationally elite level? And it hasn't been as big of a storyline as I think maybe we thought coming in, but I do think that will be the downfall today. Give me Texas 7-4 to end the Crimson Tide season.
Well, we will be at Charles Schwab Field very, very soon to see what happens in the game today. Theo, I know you got to go, so go watch a lot of soccer today and handle all the chaos at Fox Sports. I know you're going to be up to your eyeballs in production, video cutting, lots of people yelling, and all kinds of action. I really appreciate you waking up early and giving us your time today. Just real quick, follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. If Alabama loses, tomorrow is going to be a travel day for me, and so we will not have a show. Make sure you reach out to Theo and tell him you appreciate all his good work. We will catch up with you Wednesday if Alabama loses. If they win, I will at least do a show. We'll see if where Theo's schedule is, but we'll just kind of have to see what the results play. Theo, have a great day, brother.
Thanks. You as well, Joe.
Absolutely. That's Theo Fernandez hanging out with us today, and we really, man, he just jumped out of the stream, so he's probably brushing his teeth, getting ready to run out to the Fox Sports studio. He was telling me earlier how many hours that he is working for Fox Sports right now as they are covering the World Cup and trying to deliver you really coverage of one of my favorite events ever. I love the World Cup, and I've been watching all the games that I can since it has started. And my girlfriend was like, "We don't care about these countries. Why are you watching it?" And I'm just like, the intrigue, the pageantry, the emotion. It doesn't matter what countries are playing. I am enjoying this event, and I really appreciate Theo giving us a lot of his time while he is balancing that. I think he's working about 15, 16, 18 hours. Crazy. If you watched him on the YouTube, you could see he might have looked a little tired. I don't want to get slam on the guy because he is working his tail off. So Theo, big thanks to you for giving us a lot of your help. Before we shut down the program, we do want to transition and tell you about Kenneth Simon flipping from Alabama to Tennessee. Before we do that, though, I want to give a big thanks to my friends at Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. You can check them out online today at roofturtle.com or call them at 877-PT-ROOF-5. That's 877-787-6635. They're the best daggum roofers in West Alabama and all the state of Alabama, and they will travel to you to give you a free roof inspection, giving you the peace of mind that you deserve. And we've had a lot of storms in Omaha. I hope the weather has been good over the weekend, but you want to make sure that all your stuff is protected, whether it be in your home or in your business. So check them out at roofturtle.com for all their products and services and to schedule your free roof inspection. All right, let's finish this bad boy up because on Saturday, right before Alabama took on Oklahoma, the football team lost a commitment of four-star outside linebacker, edge rusher Kenneth Simon. Kenneth Simon from Brentwood Academy, right outside of Nashville. His father is a Tennessee legacy. His father was an all-SEC defender at Tennessee. And so when he committed to Alabama 6 weeks ago, roughly, 5-6 weeks ago, roughly, somewhere right in that range, I was frankly surprised. Because of the connection to Tennessee and because he plays at a pretty prominent high school in Tennessee and really his skill set. You put on the tape with Kenneth Simon and you see a guy who's got really, really nice bend and athleticism. Looks like he can play your quintessential outside linebacker type player. And I loved him. I thought that Kane Womack and company, got a commitment from a Wolf that has a very clear path to playing Wolf at Alabama, a very clear skill set that translates to what the Wolf has to do at Alabama. But flips to Tennessee over the weekend, and you guys all know how this recruiting works. And even if it wasn't in an NIL era, even if it was not in an NIL era, this should not be that big of a surprise to you. I know that Nashville and Knoxville are not, it's not the same neighborhood, but prominent cities in Tennessee. Of course, Kenneth Simon was going to be on Tennessee's radar, and they were going to pursue him, and they are going to pursue him all the way till December. I would expect Alabama to try to stay in it. I would expect Alabama to still be kind of barking up that tree a little bit until Kenneth Simon really says, hey, man, it's over. But I don't think that anyone should be surprised by Kenneth Simon flipping from Alabama to Tennessee. Does it hurt? I think it does. I do think it does create a little chink in the recruiting class. The recruiting class dropped to about mid-60s. And look, I understand everybody who's concerned about Alabama's recruiting class right now because of where it stands and all the lack of true star power. I mean, you do have Elijah Haven and Trent Seaborn, so you're set at the most important position. But you don't have really a whole lot of depth of quality of depth in the class so far. And I understand the people that are concerned. But I'll take you back to a few conversations that we had a couple of weeks ago about who you're going to have to pay in the rising juniors, the rising sophomores, the guys you're trying to retain the roster. And so it does make probably recruiting elite talent right now a little more difficult because you're trying to save some money for Keelan Russell. You're trying to save some money for Jackson Lloyd. You're trying to keep some money aside for Lucia Brooks and really every deadgum player that you have loved as freshmen and sophomores over the last 2 seasons. They're about to be up for, hey, we want to cash in the big bucks, and you want them to cash in those big bucks at Alabama, not in the transfer portal at other schools. So I think that's kind of the trade-off that you're going to have to make in this class of 2027. You're going to want to retain E.J. Crowell going into his sophomore season. You're going to want to retain, Sadarian Morgan, Jaira Edwards going into their sophomore seasons the next year. Obviously, I'm about 12 months ahead of where we are now, but you got to look ahead and project ahead with budgets. And some of these players, these young players that are highly thought of or have performed really, really well, your Michael Carroll's, golly, you're going to want to retain Michael Carroll he's going into his sophomore year, but going into his junior year, I think that impacts some things that you do in this class of 2027 recruiting class. And that's kind of the give and take. And personally, I would rather Alabama pay all the guys that I just mentioned over hotshot recruit XYZ in the class of 2027. I am excited about some of these players in the class of 27, but I don't think that you should be too surprised losing Kenneth Simon to Tennessee. That's going to do it for the program today. I really appreciate everybody getting up early with us. We got going a little bit earlier because of Theo's call time with the World Cup. Again, I cannot say enough good things about Theo's work ethic, about Theo's commitment to this show and to me and to you guys. So give him a shout out at Theo Fernandez _. If you call on the voicemail line 205-462-7340 extension 800, it would make my heart really happy if you would give him your compliments for his work ethic and for his dedication to this show while he is balancing this job at Fox Sports. I told him, I said, hey man, if there's ever a day where you just can't make it or you need the extra hour of sleep, it's okay. So there might be some times during the World Cup where it's just me, or I go out and get a second, whether it be Hunter or Katie or someone else. Just give him the grace and give him a lot of credit because, again, it's even earlier in California. He got up at 5 a.m. for this show. He's been getting up and doing the show pretty much at 6 or 7 a.m. each day with us. So I am just impressed and grateful for him. Look, and I'm grateful for the time that we've had in Omaha. Last night, I got to talk to several former Alabama players. Thanks to Roger Myers. Roger Myers hooked me up with a handful of Alabama baseball players: John Kelton, Josh Rutledge, Georgie Salem, and Ryan Blanchard. So I really appreciate those guys giving me their time, their time last night, as it's been a really, really busy weekend. It's been a great time in Omaha, and I've had a lot of fun with you guys. If Alabama loses, I'm going to be flying back early tomorrow morning. And so there won't be a show. If Alabama wins, I will be putting on a show to talk about the Texas matchup and the upcoming game, whether it be Oklahoma or Georgia. Alabama will play whoever wins the Georgia-Alabama game will play the loser of Georgia-Oklahoma on Tuesday. So it'll be back-to-back games for Alabama if they can win today, and really it'll be a couple games in a few consecutive days as they try to make it into Wednesday's kind of bracket final or so against Georgia or Oklahoma. So we'll see what happens with Alabama in Omaha. It's been a great time with you guys this morning. I appreciate everybody who's watched us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, BamaCentral Facebook page. Like and subscribe to those pages if you haven't. We appreciate everybody who listens to us each and every day on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. Appreciate it so much. If you got some time to leave us a review, that would mean a lot to the show on those platforms. And we're going to have a great day, and you are as well. And we'll talk to you again either tomorrow or Wednesday on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.